Hello and welcome to another video. Um, let's get right into it. So, these are the patch notes released on a Battlefront 2 forum website, which is battlefront-forums.ea.com. And this is a website that is linked through the main menu on Battlefront 2. So when you start up, you go over once the game's updated and you get patch 1.2, which released last Monday, earlier this week. You'll see something that says limited time, jetpack cargo, and patch notes. You click on patch notes on the main menu, and it'll take you to the web browser to this Battlefront forum website. And this was February 19th. So, okay, the day of the patch, which was this Monday. And his username is Sledgehammer70. He's a Star Wars Battlefront dev team member. So he's a developer on the game and is EA's community manager. And he says, "Hi everyone, we're excited to bring you the next patch for Star Wars Battlefront 2. In this update, we've added a mix of requested features and fixes as well as some brand new items. First off, we've added additional locations to Custom Arcade. Kashyyyk, Hoth, Endor, Crate, Jakku, and Death Star 2 were added. We're also launching a new game mode, Jetpack Cargo. This fast-paced mode sees players jumping around in jetpacks while wielding rocket launchers for the entire round. This mode will only be available for a limited time, so check for availability and make sure to jump in and give it a try. Also, for a limited time, we've added 3 new hero appearances to the game, specifically the Hoth appearances for Luke Skywalker, Leia Organa, and Han Solo. You can preview them in their respective character customization screens under appearances. They will be unlockable through a series of in-game challenges that will be available over time. Stay tuned to our channels for more information. This patch brings a lot of balance tweaks and bug fixes to heroes, classes, locations, and game modes. A significant tweak has also been made to dodging, and for fans of arcade, we've made substantial improvements to the AI characters to make the experience more engaging. Lastly, all players will now receive 2 default emotes for their troopers instead of having to unlock some before you can join in the fun. So get out there and start expressing yourselves in-game. Read about all the changes below, and as always, we appreciate all your feedback. The Star Wars Battlefront 2 team. And that's his introduction, and then it goes on to say about the heroes and villains balancing. And there were apparently a lot of issues. Not really major issues like oh my god, this dude's fixed now. Except the only one being Emperor Palpatine. And maybe Yoda and Lando, Darth Vader would be up there too. Captain Phasma was another main one they needed to fix. Okay, so what they did, there were issues. People were reporting that Emperor Palpatine, when he was on the battlefield, would shoot his lightning through the wall. Oh my god, that would so piss me off if I ever experienced that. I'm glad they fixed that because I never experienced it myself, so I mean, I was never really in many close quarters maps, except for Naboo. Like once you get in the palace and stuff. I've never experienced that. That's kind of funny, but at least now that they finally fixed that issue, and they increased the range of his lightning from I think 12 to 14. It's in here. Let me see here. Tell you the exact thing here. So, Emperor Palpatine. Emperor. Okay. Yeah, 12 to 14. So lightning increased reach of the ability from 12 to 14 meters to compensate for the tighter collision check. Okay, so alright. And they basically nerfed Chewbacca's gun a bit. Stun grenade was reduced. The shock time is 1 second instead of 1.6. And his gun. They like I said, they nerfed the gun. So the side projectiles nerfed the explosive damage from 25 to 21. And reduced the Furious bowcaster side projectiles explosive damage from 12 to 10. So another thing, and they buffed Luke Skywalker a bit, lowered his health a bit though. Max regeneration amount from 250 to 200. They increased Luke's sprint speed by 0.6 meters a second. Increased Luke health from 700 to 750. Increased health regeneration rate from 50 to 110. And decreased regeneration delay from 5 to 2.7. Decreased max regeneration amount from 250 to 200. Kylo Ren, Rey, and Bosk, Iden Versio, and Boba Fett, they also changed, as well as Captain Phasma, Lando, Darth Vader. Fixed one thing with Finn, where his crosshairs would remain on the targets after using the Deadeye or Deadshot ability. And the issue, not really too bad of an issue with Boba Fett, but they made it a little easier for the jetpack. So it says here, we've made a substantial change to the way Boba Fett's jetpack feels when flying. We think you're going to love the increased maneuverability. Furthermore, we improved his efficiency at distance with the EE3, and that's his rifle. Previously, it could be frustrating to try to shoot with the EE3's high dispersion, especially while flying. As a result, we improved the EE3 in a few areas, and we hope this will combine with the jetpack changes to make Boba Fett even more fun to use on the Battlefront. Jetpack controllability was improved. EE3 reduced the minimum dispersion angle from 0.6 to 0. Alright, this is all boring shit anyway. Increased end damage from 20 to 25. Increased damage drop off. Start distance from 15 to 20 meters. It fixed the droid stun thing with Iden Versio. Reduced the time between the ability activation and shock. Fixed an issue where Iden's droid stun didn't give damage on the first attack, and reduced the damage from 50 to 40. So the damage that she deals, I guess. And Bosk reduced the recoil on his gun from, which is the Relby V10, reduced it from 5 to 2.2, so the recoil wasn't as bad. Reduced the explosive traps damage from 80 to 76 per trap. Fixed the blast damage radius on multi-trap to fit the star card's numbers. And Rey, they nerfed her. Mind control, insight, and farsight. So all of her abilities were reduced. The mind control radius was changed from 20 to 18 meters. Insight radius changed from 50 to 30, and reduced the bonus on farsight ability by 10%. So it's now, it now goes 10, 20, 30, 40%. Okay, so those are the numbers. In case, for common, uncommon, rare, and epic upgrade star cards for that ability. And let's go to Kylo Ren here. So they reduced pull recharge time from 25 to 20 seconds. Reducing freeze recharge time from 25 to 24 seconds. So they're making it quicker for the ability to cool down before you use it again. So that's good. That's good. And Frenzy. Kylo Ren now has 40% damage absorption, while Friendly is active. While Frenzy is active. And we already went through Luke and Emperor Palpatine. I think we went through Chewbacca. Yoda. They increased his lightsaber damage from 80 to 115. Barrier added the functionality to break out of immobilizing effects on activation. So say you're in a battle and say, like, for instance, heroes versus villains, and you're towards Kylo Ren and he uses his freeze ability on you. Well, here, now you can activate the Yoda's barrier ability and you can break out of it. And they increased his energy holding time from 0.7 to 0.9 seconds. And increased the angle from 40 to 45 degrees. Increased first tier damage from 100 to 110. Increased the second tier damage from 125 to 130. Third tier damage from 150 to 160. And fourth tier damage from 175 to 190. And Lando, they reduced the reduced recharge time of his disruptor from 25 to 19 seconds, and reduced recharge time on Smoke Grenade from 15 to 14 seconds. So that's just a 1 second change there. On the disruptor, it's 6 seconds, which is a lot. And on Vader, reduced max health from 900 to 800. Now it says here they want to make him a bit more tanky. It says they changed how choke works in order to simplify comprehension for the player, as well as the target that Darth Vader is targeting, in an effort to also make Darth Vader more tanky. We granted him a health bonus when activating Focused Rage. Huh. Okay. So that's beefed up, but his max health is reduced in conjunction with that. Phasma. A lot of you have been complaining about Captain Phasma and her staff, including me. Okay, this is one of the main issues I had with character-wise, other than Emperor Palpatine. Her staff strikes. Okay, so you would use Captain Phasma, and all of a sudden you go up to somebody, you just want to whack them with your staff. Alright, simple, you knock them out. First problem I had with it was you got to get really close, which could give them the time to do a melee attack on you or just shoot you point blank. So you had to do it quick. But the animation for that swing of the staff was real slow, super slow, to the point where basically it took forever to swing the staff, and then took forever from the time you're done using the staff to use your gun and shoot. So that was fixed, thank God. The animation on the staff swinging was way too low, way too slow, I mean. They also increased the transition speed between each strike, and increased how quickly Captain Phasma can use her blaster after performing a staff strike. So you get 3 staff strikes, and they reduce the time in between each one and made it so she can use her blaster more quickly afterwards. So, heroes and villains bug fixes. Lightsaber heroes are deactivated while blinded. Okay, so basically, if you blind run while being blinded by a flash grenade, you can't just swing your lightsaber uncontrollably and hope to hit somebody like it was before. So also, they fixed an issue where you would be in a stunned state forever. Man, that would suck. Imagine being stunned. Imagine being on a battlefield, right? And then you have Kylo Ren comes up to you and uses the freeze on you, and you're just stuck there. I mean, stuck until the end of the match. That would really piss me off. Everybody else is walking around shooting. People are trying to get at you. Oh, let's shoot that guy while he's down and stunned and defenseless, and let's be unfair. Well, they fixed that. The maximum stun duration is now 5 seconds. That's good. That's fair. Boba Fett, they fixed an issue with him that prevented him from using his jetpack ability when For the Hunt was activated while his fuel was depleted. Luke Skywalker's Epicenter star card. The ability will now deal with a proper amount of damage when used. And Yoda's 3 abilities, Feel the Force, Enduring the Force, and Master the Force. So on Feel the Force, they edited the description of this ability to make it clear that all friendlies will receive a health bonus when used. That's good now that people have a more clear understanding of that, which I already did, but well, you did too as well. So, and Enduring the Force, this ability will now apply the proper amount of bonus time. So that's good. And lastly, the Master of the Force ability with Yoda. It says this ability will no longer damage players inconsistently, and only when released at maximum power. And Finn, like I said earlier, I mentioned Finn's Deadeye ability. The targeting crosshair would be still stuck onto the target of which you targeted. So they said it should be properly removed after the ability has been used. So they didn't give no 100% confirmation, but they said it pretty much should be fixed. Okay, on to classes, special units, and infantry combat. So it goes on to say, the dodge ability has been and this was a big issue as well. So listen up here. How players would just keep rolling and spam it over and over and over again. People would roll all the way across the battlefield to their objectives, away from heroes and villains, and just rolling uncontrollably, and it just gets annoying, like how it got annoying in the first Battlefront. Everyone flying around in damn jetpacks. So they fixed the dodge roll. It goes on to say, the dodge ability has been proven to be too powerful, which was not our initial intent. Dodging granted far too many benefits like damage reduction, the inability to transition into a hit animation, ignoring lightsaber damage, and the inability to be targeted by lightsaber closers. In order to handle this, we added an unstaggerable window during a set period of time, which you will dodge. You will still receive the same benefits during that window, but now you have a narrow time in which to gain those benefits. Now you'll need to time your rolls better and predict attacks. While testing these changes, we feel good with the results so far, and we really hope that you do too. This is a change that we will monitor closely. And the issue with all classes. They fixed an issue on blaster rifles and the S5. Weapons that can be toggled with a high zoom level through dual zoom, where the scope glint would always appear when zooming. It now only appears when a dual zoom scope is equipped and toggled to its highest magnification level. And all troopers have now received 2 default emotes. They reduced the time it took so you can shoot after executing melee. The assault class, specifically the Vanguard shotgun, lowered the start damage per shot from 14 to 12. And also on the assault class, the CR2 gun, they fixed an issue on it with inconsistent super success triggers compared to other blasters. Whatever that means. I'm good on the lingo here. And the heavy class, supercharged sentry, was reduced from 0.17 to 0.15. And the officer's freaking OP fucking blur. Man, I hated that shit. I'd run into an officer in a battlefield and I'd just get shot out of nowhere. And I would see blurg. Like, you know what? I just want to choke everybody that plays as the damn officer. Plus, I don't see the point. Why have a class where you're an officer? Were officers ever on the battlefield with their troopers? No. They were always standing around the Star Destroyers in the movies and shit. I don't want to see an officer. I mean, why couldn't they add somebody like a, I don't know, they could add the jet trooper in its place instead of the damn officer. I don't understand that. I really don't. Or they could have put in the dark trooper, put him back in the canon, or just put him in the game for fun. I mean, shit, you know. The Dark Trooper was in the older Battlefront games, the first original 2 for PlayStation 2 and Xbox. So I don't see why they couldn't just... Oh, but EA's worried about canon. Okay, but yet you have characters from different eras on the same battlefield. So you mean to tell me you're worried about canon, but you want Darth Maul and Rey to battle it out on Naboo? When Maul wasn't around during the Clone Wars, and when he was worried about finding Kenobi and running around with his brother Savage. And he wanted to roll Mandalore. So he wasn't really involved in any of the main battles in the Clone Wars, so especially that Darth Maul. That version of him, before he got his robotic legs. Second of all, Rey is from a totally different time period in the future, but yet they're on the same. I don't understand. And then you got Kylo Ren against Luke Skywalker, Return of the Jedi version, and it's just really annoying seeing characters from different time periods on the same battlefield. To me, it's annoying. I mean, I'm not all for every game to be canon. I mean, it would be nice to have a game that just where you can just have fun. Just, you know, it's just a fun game. I do like the idea that the single player campaign is canon. So the story to that is official canon, part of the timeline, part of the part of the storyline and stuff. So that's cool. I mean, it's just, there's things I wish they would take out of the game, things I wish they would put in, and certain things I would like to see that they probably just never would do. I mean, they already sabotaged the idea of canon by having, like I said, characters from different time periods on the same battlefield, really? But you won't give us cosmetics, like... I don't know. We need to be able to customize our characters and stuff. and we need to just, I don't know. If here's the thing, and this is an issue I had, and I've been thinking about this for a while too. So here's the thing. Look, we all know about all the damn trouble they have with the microtransaction thing, and that was a controversial topic. It turned a lot of players off. The sales were horrible when the game first came out. I mean, horrible. During Black Friday, almost all games were on sale, and one of the only games that was still on the shelf was Battlefront 2. Hardly any games were bought off the shelf, and this was during Black Friday. So after the game first came out, they had microtransactions where you could buy loot crates. Now that's technically considered gambling. So, but yeah, but here's what I think: if they bring microtransactions back, I wouldn't mind buying, like, say, a gun pack where you can unlock the weapons by buying them. I don't see no problem with that. That doesn't affect the progression of your character. I mean, it doesn't make you more powerful on the battlefield. I mean, that all depends on how good you are at the game. If you have a certain gun that, I don't know. But for the first Battlefront, what they did was you could buy gun packs, like stuff like that, you know. And in the Ultimate Edition, that's all included. I think. No, it's not, because I had to buy a couple of them. Well, the main thing was you were able to unlock some of the guns by doing hut contracts. I didn't really care for that. I mean, it'd be cool if they added it to Battlefront 2, because I'm getting a little bit better at completing those hut contracts. But what I would like to see is, I understand they want you to unlock everything. They want you to be able to unlock everything through how much you play the game, instead of just going in, you know, they want everything to be earned. I get that. But if they want to bring microtransactions back, the best way to do that, if they still want to make some money, which people would buy these microtransactions if they did it right, is if they had crates that you know what's in them, okay, not just anything random pops out of them. Make them cosmetics. Make it so we can customize the appearance of our troopers, our trooper classes. Say we want to look like a 501st clone trooper. Okay, so we can unlock the design for that. Or buy it, you know, via microtransaction. Fine with me. Just don't let the progression of the game be bought out. Like, it takes people, it's going to take most people hours and hours and hours and hours to unlock the things that they need to unlock and progress through the game with these star cards, which I never really cared for the star card progression system anyway. That's just my opinion. I'd rather your abilities be more like an RPG based thing. Like you can improve your aiming skills and stuff like that. You know, your actual skills as a gamer, as a soldier in combat. I feel that would be much better, improving all of those, than progressing through common, uncommon, rare, and epic star card abilities. Just my opinion. I don't like the loot crate system either. They should just do away with that. I mean, it's fine, I guess, if they're gonna keep the star card progression. Okay, so I don't like it personally. So if they do, I don't know, if they do take that out, they would have to take loot crates out of the situation entirely. Because if they I'm not sure what they have up their sleeve, because they said microtransactions are coming back in some way, shape, or form, but no one really knows yet. There's no 100% confirmation on it yet. But basically, here's what I think. If they want to make... Okay. They said they're going to need funding for continuing producing all the DLCs and stuff. Since a lot of people complained about the first Battlefront having to pay for basically the price of another game for the season pass, and which was $50 to $60 depending on where you live. And it was just crazy. It's twice the price of a game just to have a few extra DLCs. Like, really? That's what I like about this game. Battlefront 2, you don't have to pay for the DLCs. They're all free. But guess what? They wanted to implement microtransactions. Buying loot crates. What a horrible idea. That's an absolute mess. I don't know even what they were thinking. They should have known. They really should have known that was going to get their asses in trouble. And they should have known that a lot of people would be pissed off about that. Because they promised, a lot of good things about this game. And they marketed it in a bad way. By pretty much steering us towards all the positive things about the game instead of saying the full truth about the game. Because they didn't want to turn people off. They want to advertise it as something amazing so you would go out and buy it. But yet during Black Friday, hardly any of them were bought off the shelf. I mean, there were at least 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4 shelves stockpiled with Battlefront 2 copies. And I don't know, either they were purchased online, I don't know, but they say their sales were a lot lower than expected, than their goal was. They still made a butt ton of money. I mean, come on, they're a video game developer company, The video game industry is just full of rich bigwigs that make a lot of money anyway, so what's the difference? But hey, stock has dropped about, I think they said it was 3 million they lost out on. Their projected amount was to make over 10 million. And I guess they didn't reach that mark. I guess they only made 7 million. Don't quote me on it. You can correct me down in the comments below if I'm wrong. But I'm not quoting that word for word, but just mentioning that out there too. They just really had a lot of backlash. But they're working on everything. Like I said, they released this new patch, so this is a new update, and they fixed a lot of issues with the game. There's a rumor they're working on Starfighter Assault for arcade mode. That would be interesting. That would be pretty fun to play Starfighter Assault offline. Now, you had Fighter Squadron in the first Battlefront 2015, which the flight mechanics in that game were really weird. Just, I don't know, this wasn't what I was expecting. I like the way the flight mechanics work in this game. I feel they work much better than the previous one. So I think that's about it I want to discuss today on this video. I just wanted to get the updates on everything, the new patch they made for Battlefront 2, and what they fixed, the issues that were being had with a lot of things in the game, and just a lot of bugs and fixes and How about the new maps added to arcade mode? That was cool. I think. I was wondering where those other maps were. I was wondering when they were going to put them on there too. But a friend of mine that I have on PlayStation, me and him were talking earlier, and the one thing he mentioned that I didn't think of was he said, "What about Galactic Assault as well for arcade mode?" That would be interesting. That I never thought of that actually, and it would get people involved in that game mode and get used to the way it works. So pretty much you could practice offline, and if you could customize that mode, you could set it to different difficulties, and then once you get better and better at it, it'll make you better when you're online playing online, and I think that would be cool. Why don't they release an offline version of every game mode on here? I think that would be very beneficial to a lot of players starting out in the game, to help them get used to it before jumping into online like right away. I feel that if you have more practice, it would prepare you for playing online. So that's just my opinion. What else I think they should do is, I don't know, like I said, if they want to bring back microtransactions, they should bring them back to specifically only for customization. Like say you want to buy a different kind of helmet or a different kind of armor altogether, or design your armor with different colors and designs on it. Say you want to be a 501st clone. Say you want to look like Commander Cody or Captain Rex. I mean, the list goes on, and they should add different species for the rebels and stuff. So you don't have to be just a human or whatever. I mean, there weren't too many aliens in the movies and stuff, but the rebels were mainly humans as well, like the Empire, but there was a lot of aliens in the rebels, in the Rebel Alliance, so I think it would be cool to do that, and say you want a different suit. Say you want a pilot suit, like a flight suit, or an Endor camouflage suit that they wore in Return of the Jedi. Or say you want to look like the troopers on Princess Leia's flagship from Episode 4. The list goes on and on. You can customize the look of everything. I think that they would make a lot of money off of that. People would buy those, and I wouldn't mind buying it. Say you want to buy a new skin or costume for one of your troopers or one of your heroes, like Luke Skywalker, for instance. Say you want him in his uniform he wore on Bespin, fighting Darth Vader from Empire Strikes Back, or his Hoth gear uniform, or the outfit he wore on Endor, with the hat and the poncho, and what if you want to add his Jedi robe? Or say you want him to look like Episode 7 and 8 Luke Skywalker. The old Luke, the grizzled Luke with the beard and stuff. The list goes on and on and on what they could do with the customization. What else I think they should add is talk about making money. Make it to where we can buy out the characters that we got to unlock. Players got to grind out a lot of hours to unlock. That was one thing that particularly pissed me off about the game, was you have to use the in-game credits you earn to buy and unlock the characters. Not all of them, but mainly Chewie, the Emperor, Vader, I think Boba Fett, Luke Skywalker, and Princess Leia, and Iden Versio, I think. You had to buy them. They were 45,000 credits each. when the game first came out. Then they lowered it to 15,000 and 10,000. And a couple of them were like 5,000. But still, come on. I don't want to have to unlock. I mean, people that were playing the Elite version of the game, which is what I got. I got the Deluxe Edition. The Elite Trooper Deluxe Edition. That's $80. You mean to tell me I also got to grind out hours and hours to earn all the credits to buy and unlock all their extra characters? Seriously? So they tried making it more difficult because people this time around didn't want to pay for a season pass. So they got to do something some way. Hey, to each their own, I guess. I mean, I guess you got whatever makes you money. That's the way they look at it. That's all they really care about. When it comes down to it, it's just the money. But they are starting to listen to feedback. Hence this patch. Patch note 1.2. It's update 1.07. They fixed a lot of things in this patch. They updated the game to where it works better, feels better, plays better, and still more things they probably need to fix. Sure. More things they should add? Yeah, sure. And where's the next DLC? We don't know. No one knows. They didn't release any of that information yet either. So, I don't know. Let's just discuss in the comment section down below. Leave a like, share, subscribe, or whatever. And let me know what you think about what they should add or what they should take away or just your thoughts in general on Battlefront 2 and Battlefront 1. Hell, maybe even the old classic Battlefront games for PlayStation 2. For you old folks like me, grew up in the old days, the retro games. That's the thing. That's what's messed up. PlayStation, Nintendo, all that shit I played as a kid, now considered retro games. How about that? Well, just FYI, I'm not too old, but 30 years old. And the games I played as a kid are now retro. Wow. Time is flying, let me tell you. So, let's make time fly around here too. Let's have fun discussing these interesting topics and talk about our thoughts and opinions on things. And so let me know in the comment section what you guys think about the new update, about the game in general, what they should and shouldn't do. That's about it I have for today, pretty much. See you next time. And as always, may the Force be with you all. Peace.